Well, we knew that there was going to be lots of good news this week because of the whole originally planned E3 was supposed to happen this week, obviously was canceled, and all the other events that came from that cancellation were made instead, such as the EA Play event that happened today, some great announcements there, the Sony PlayStation conference last week, that was awesome. We didn't expect any bad news, but unfortunately, we got a really big level of bad news. And it's more disappointing than bad. And actually, there's some good news regarding this news story. And of course, I'm talking about the disappointment of the latest delay of Cyberpunk 2077. As you know, the game was originally supposed to come out in April this year, but it was delayed until September. However, unfortunately, this morning, CDProjectRed made a statement that said, once again, they needed to delay the game to fix some bugs and to make sure that the polish was up there. To quote CDProjectRed in their statement, it reads as followed. We have decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 from September 17th to November 19th. Those of you who are familiar with the way we make games know that we won't ship something which is not ready. Ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we are fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust, and trading trust for additional time is one of the hardest decisions a game developer can make. And despite we think it's the right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intention is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that will stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did. At the time we are writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished, both content and gameplay-wise. The quests, the cutscenes, the skills and items, all the adventures Night City has to offer, it's all there. But with such an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we need to properly go through everything, balance game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. A huge world means a huge number of things to iron out, and we will spend the additional time doing exactly that. This week, journalists from all over the world are starting to independently play the game. We are eager and quite stressed to hear their opinions, as well as see your reactions when they publish their previews right after we air Night City Wire on the 25th of June. We hope this will satisfy some of your hunger for the game as we work to polish it for the November launch. Thank you. And they have the names of the co-founders, Marcin and Adam, co-founder and head of the studio. Now, what is my reactions to this? Well, obviously, I have two really conflicting feelings about this. Number one, absolute disappointment, and it's okay to feel disappointment. This is the second time this game has been delayed. I was highly looking forward to playing it in September, but that isn't going to happen. And it will lead to something that I want to talk about in a second. But number two, I absolutely support them in this because while I'm disappointed, I do want to see this game be the best game it can be. I do not want to see this game rushed, and I do not want to see this game full of bugs and issues and problems. If they need the time to make this game better, that's fine. I do have one issue though, and this is an issue that's not a CD Projekt Red issue per se, it's more of the entire game industry issue. And that is that games get announced way too early sometimes. Obviously, it's done to build up hype. Just today's the launch of Last of Us 2. That game was announced many, many years ago, and we've been waiting a long time for it. And there was even an announcement of release dates, and it got delayed as well. Cyberpunk 2077 was announced many years ago. Last year, it had its incredible announcement of a release date with Keanu Reeves on stage announcing the original release date, and then it gets delayed as well. I don't like it when companies make announcements so far in advance, specifically for release dates, and cannot hold to them. Of course, things happen that changes the plans. Sometimes you just can't hold to release date. This happens to movies as well. It happens to TV series. It happens to books. It happens to a lot of things. And the adage always goes that, well, a delayed game can be good. And that's right. A delayed game can be good, but a non-delayed game that has problems is always going to have those problems. Well, at least in this day and age, we do have patches, which helps that. But that's annoying, and we don't like a lot of patches. And that's something that I felt Cyberpunk 2077 developer CDProjectRed stated that I wish that they would have hold to, and wish more companies would hold to, and that is that we believe when it's done, it's done. We don't ship it until it's done. That's a great motto to have. And I would love to see companies not only just say that, but go back to the days where they don't even announce a release date until they know 100% certain that they're going to hit that date. But while I'm disappointed, I'm okay. It's okay for 2 more months. They need the time. Now, interesting enough, I was kind of really surprised by this announcement and the way they said what they needed and what they didn't need in regards to time. They didn't talk about a certain little worldwide problem that's happening right now, because a lot of games are getting delayed this last couple of months, specifically in Japan, for that reason, but they didn't mention it. And I was wondering why that is. And one of the reasons I think that they've delayed it to November, not only for bugs, but also is because everyone expects the next generation consoles to be out by November, if not November. So hey, what a way to go ahead and get the games released at the same time as the systems. And interesting enough, as I started to get ready to record this, a recording of a conference call between CDProjectRed showed up on the internet. It actually showed up on CDProjectRed's website. They had a conference call today with their investors where they talked about this situation regarding the delay. And there were 2 very interesting pieces of news that came from it. Number one, they were asked upfront, does the current global situation, has that caused the delays? They said it doesn't help the situation, but it was not the main reason for the delay, which is both good news and bad news, of course, because obviously they even said, yes, it's not helping, but it's not the main reason. Obviously, they have bugs. They need to squash them. They need help. So that's okay. But there was another bit of news that was announced in this conference call that will make people who own the PlayStation version of the game very excited. Now, we know that Cyberpunk 2077 has an advertising deal with Microsoft. They were on stage at Microsoft last year, and they even announced this year about the smart delivery plans for the Xbox Series X version, where if you buy the Xbox One version of the game, you'll get the Series X version for free. This is a plan that has been awesome to hear. A lot of games are coming out with it on Xbox, and it's a nice little advantage. Now, Sony hasn't really talked about their plans yet. They've done such a thing in the past with cross-buy, and we do know some games are going to have this situation regarding buying a PlayStation 4 copy and being able to get the PlayStation 5 copy for free. We know Madden will have that. But Sony hasn't talked a lot about their plans regarding that. And Cyberpunk, ironically, did not make any mention of the PlayStation 4 version originally, but they did promise no one should be able to buy the game more than once. And in this conference call, they finally confirmed that yes, the PlayStation 5 will play the PlayStation 4 version and will get the upgrades. So if you buy the PlayStation 4 version, you will get the free upgrades to make that version the PlayStation 5 version. They say there'll be multiple updates. It'll be playable day one on the PlayStation 5, but they're going to have multiple updates on both that and the Xbox system over time to make it the best version that they can make it. So if you're planning on buying the PlayStation 4 version, like I am, you can be rest assured that you're going to get the best version of the game for the next generation as well. So in a day which there was bad news and disappointing news, there's also good news too. And hey, November, it's only 2 months, and hey, I got hundreds of games to beat right now, so I can wait. But yeah, it was kind of a kick in the stomach this morning to see this news. But hopefully, the famous Miyamoto quote comes true in this case, and they can squash all those bugs. And Cyberpunk 2077 is not only just a good title, but is a fantastic title. And as we know from Witcher 3, it's probably going to be that way. And you know what? It's good timing they made this announcement today, I think, because, you know, it kind of... The other fact is today, and as I record this, of June 19th, The Last of Us 2 is out. So it kind of softens the blow of the disappointment of Cyberpunk because we got a big wanted game that we can play today. So mark your calendars. Again, November 19th is going to be the date. And hopefully this is the last delay. Please, CD Projekt Red, do your best to finish the game, but let's hope there is no crunch, or at least limited crunch, because we don't want to see the developers and the workers in the game in a very stressful situation. But I wish them all the luck. I'm looking forward to the game. I can't wait to play it. Hopefully everything will be okay. But you know what? That's all I have to say about this. Please, if you like the video. If you don't like, dislike it. Leave your comments, subscribe, and like I said, it's June 19th. Last of Us 2. I'm excited. I'm waiting for it. It's in the mail. It's going to probably be in my mailbox in the next few hours. Not next few days. It better be here today. And I hope to talk about that soon. We're going to talk about it on the Rainbow Gaming Podcast very soon. I hope you listen to that and look forward to more videos. Until then, take care. Enjoy your gaming. Have fun. See ya.